Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 163 of On the Backs of Gods. I'm your DM, Jillian, and we have our players here today. Same as always, we have Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. I think we'll just go ahead and jump right into things after a quick little recap. Currently, the party is at the biggest bash of the year, the last night of this big ol' bash. And, it could probably be worse. At one point, you watch as a tree illuminates in the center of the party, mirroring an event where you saw Bosch appear and cause a little havoc. But it ended up just being Mood, an emissary of Pink, who could not attend the party, bringing a large parade through for everybody to have a good time. Definitely a different vibe than what is, expected. And this parade is followed up by the matron, whom, when Fen perceived her, fell to his knees in awe, and is currently on his way over with Nana to go see her, but he has successfully, because of the small earthquake and tree display, been able to complete one of three sneaky sleight of hand attempts in placing a tracker on the partner of one of the matriarchs of the Underdark. One down, two to go. They make their way over there, trying not to be too rude. Roshan has conversations with the most beautiful people in town, who happen to be the most informed people in town. You speak to one who is wearing an outfit that, from certain angles, make her invisible. That she is able to just angle herself a certain way and you can't see her. She is able to sneak and sleuth as she pleases. Talks to Roshan, who does not push or pry or ask for any information, just seems to want to have a conversation. Though she does explain that she's like, these are the things I know about you, and does lay some, like, kind of like, it's cool that you know these things, information on the table, but nothing too terrible. Just that it's weird nobody framed you for the murders of a bunch of chiefs. For you were in their towns basically at the time they died, and you know got off scot-free because you didn't kill anybody. That's at least what we're saying. Uh, you didn't even.
No, we
Um,
didn't.
We
but
only witnessed one of them.
Yeah.
we only saw one. We were at one of the funerals, and the other one was not while I was there.
Yeah.
Though we did fight with him in the streets visibly.
That also did
To
happen.
help him out,
And you did get to see the Blood Eagle version of one of them. Anywho, that's the past. Everything's fine. That got Roshan's boyfriend a whole position as chief, so it's totally fine.
Sure did,
Really,
boy.
the Lord works in mysterious ways. Anywho,
Not sure how to feel about us benefiting from that, but okay.
Well, you take what you get. Roshan also goes and talks to Aliona, who informs Roshan that she can smell that war is on the horizon, that the East and the West are going to come to blows, that there is no way around it. Except that she'd like to find what it is, and has declared that she is going to prevent this war from happening. Why? Maybe she's tired of it. If you lived your whole life only knowing war, maybe you want something different when you're given a second chance. Or maybe not. Either way, she is able to get information from Roshan about the Jarl and the Chiefs over on the western side of the continent, and plans to talk to them. She also has these bruises covering the expanse of her palms, which her tick is sort of like flicking her fingers to get rid of excess magic, and she kind of winces each time she has to do this now. But Roshan's like, and while I'm here, here's my wish. Thank you for your time. Please safely send my sister Rosetta to Demwoods at this time. And she's like, all right, I'll figure that out. The universe and I will talk about it. And Roshan goes and introduces Aliona to Egil, who is a chief over in the West. and they begin having a conversation. Keld had a bad time living through his life and re-experiencing everything, and believes his father is keeping a secret from him, and can't find any evidence that anything happened near this fountain. And you do your best, you do what you can. Russ has engaged in 2 combats, which is a normal number for Russ. 3 is also a normal number. So 1 more, it's like, okay, that's normal. Normal space. When he gets to the 6s and 7s and 8s, that's when things start getting rocky. But so far, all is well. People participate in candy and snack and drink. And currently, I believe everybody is out in the courtyard having themselves a great time for whatever reason. I think I will start with Fen and Nun. The 2 of you are currently walking through what is the loudest and most crowded this event has been, as about 50 odd new guests have joined as entertainment of sorts. At least these ones have clothes on. So, hey, it's small gifts. But there is magic and the smell of different candies and snacks. There are people performing tricks and dancing and acrobatics and a bunch of things, just music playing, kind of drowning out Alder Tidings, whether he is singing lyrics or wailing into the mic. We don't know at this time, as there's a man with a drum, and it is over for anybody else who thinks that they are going to beat out this drum.
Yeah, there is nothing that beats out a drum for taking over a space, auditorially speaking.
Well, this guy's having just a good time, and
It's
he's
true.
enthusiastic.
And we love that. We love to see that.
But the 2 of you make your way through the crowd, and you can see now, currently leading off of the path, kind of stepping now away from the crowd a bit, you see the matron in her white and sheer outfit, her train.
Train.
There we go. I'm like, it's a TR word. Let's go through all of them real fast. Her train trailing 20 feet behind her. Shocking and beautiful and amazing that nobody is stepping on it. It seems that people are actively like, give this a wide berth. But she steps off into the grass, and the grass seems to just sort of almost lean into her in the space. And it looks like after she steps over the next piece that it is healthier and not like trodden upon. Like, it does not look like she ever stepped there, and the grass is healthier for her stepping upon it. And she is currently now just like meandering through the grass, taking in the space. What are you guys doing?
Well, first of all, Fen is trying to keep his composure, both with the mission he just did, plus the arrival of this unexpected guest, plus he's really trying not to get touched by all of these people that are suddenly even more in the space. So
Nana is assisting him with, like, she has probably been to so many events with Fen specifically, on his arm specifically, in order to assist him avoiding touching people in the crowd.
So he's just trying to, he wants to be composed if he's going to approach the matron, and doesn't want to appear panicked. I think he's been doing a pretty good job most of the party anyways, but this is a lot at once. That's where Fen is at as he walks there, trying to maintain an air of respect, but also somewhat casual. Does that make sense? Like,
take a breath, Fen. Take a breath.
I understand. It's fine. We'll be fine.
You're tense. That's all. You'll be all right. This is okay.
I don't know how.
Right?
Pardon me?
You trust her. You consider her like a god.
An angel, at least. Yes. I just never asked a favor like this before. I'd like to have her help Nyx, if possible. but I don't know. I was but a child last time I saw her. I saw her. I didn't speak to her. I don't know how you do. I'm not sure why someone like that is at a place like this. Honestly,
We can make some conversation, if nothing else. We don't have to jump right into making requests. Let's at least make introductions first, right?
I understand. We just only have the night left, and
I know.
it was not something I thought was going to happen. It's just sort of fallen here, and I'd like to take advantage of it if I can, for the sake of our friend.
Of course. Let's do our very best, make a good first impression well as we can, and see if there's a good spot to slide that in. Okay?
Understood. You've always been much better with diplomacy than I have.
Well, I'm no Roshan, and I'm no Ave, but I mean...
Understood, but Ave certainly put effort into teaching you manners and courtesies. Ours are different.
So are you all meandering through the crowd? Or are you stopping on the edge? Your conversation has... You would at this point be like, we're meandering on the edge of like the grass. Like she's not that far from you. You could meander.
We're looking for an opportunity to slide in where she isn't occupied in a conversation. Like
nobody is speaking to her.
No one is speaking to
her.
her.
Off alone in the grass.
Okay. Then in that case, I think like once we get up within pretty close, Nana will kind of just start leading Fen over, kind of just give him a reassuring nod, and kind of like allow him to take the lead as an elf and as someone who has at least seen this person before. She'll follow his lead here.
Fen will approach, and if the matron looks towards him, expecting conversation, he's kind of trying to judge her demeanor at this point.
Fen, you take the lead and you approach and see if you are acknowledged. And she is currently like, you're sort of approaching from the side, and she's just like a little bit ahead and going sort of sideways from you. So you're not like jogging up behind her, but kind of coming from the side to go speak to her, where you would at least be in her periphery for a moment. And you watch her stop walking. She stops and looks in your direction.
The whole walk over, Fen's been trying to think of back to his childhood, how she was received. Was she received? He knew she was revered, but like, was she received like a jarl or a chief arriving? But Fen's just gonna take off his antlered headdress and set it down as he takes a knee, and gives a bow, and awaits her, asking him to rise if that's what she asks for.
Okay. You both take knees in the grass as a parade walks around in the background. Very just big opposite energy of the matron in the grass and the parade stomping around the cobblestones. But
she seemed like she was vibing on her own frequency anyway, separate from the crowd.
She looks to you and kind of like her head follows you as you kneel. And she does not ask you to stand. She does not like insist that you continue to kneel, but she just sort of takes you in for a moment. And it's just this long intake of air as she takes you in. Blessings, kin. And it is the softest of smiles. Blessing to a child of Briarheart. And she gives you a subtle bow.
Ben's gonna tentatively stand.
Nana will follow.
Matron, Fen Varmaskaria, as you rightly say, of Briarheart, did not expect to see you here. Why are you here?
What brings someone of your import? I hear you are a well-known figure.
She takes in the party, and it's almost like being in her space begins to dim out the unnatural aspects of things. Being in her space, you realize how lush the grass is, how fortified against winter this space now is. That it's almost as if you have found her in the wood and not in the middle of this courtyard. And she looks back to you after scanning the space. The roots bid me come. I, I know not what they shall ask me till they bid, but they have requested my presence here.
Well, I'm grateful for your appearance. I certainly was not expecting to see you here. I'm not sure if I ever expected to see you again. I was a child last I saw you, ages ago. This is, pardon me, Nonna, Hemming's daughter of Kalanda. Nonna, this is the matron.
Matron, I'm honored to meet you. Fen speaks so highly of you, and he's a very dear friend of mine, so my esteem is equally great.
I see. I have never been Gulunder, so I can assume that it is lovely as many places are.
It is. Thank you.
This is a home for good people.
It is, it is. We would like for you to visit if you're ever in the neighborhood, if you've the opportunity.
I do not steer my own hand. I do not pick my direction. It is not my choice. But if the roots bid it, then I will be Gulunder.
And quite similar attitude. Traveled with us for a while. Seems like we knew her forever, but time was actually quite short with us. But winds that took her from place to place, following a lady of sorts, turned out to not be the best idea that she ever had. But what? I'm sorry to presume. What do the roots bring you here for? They say not.
At this moment, I am a starlit courtyard. I stand in it and I am it. And I go to these places for I think they need me. The roots call me where I am bid and where I am needed. And I feel as if they do not need me. The rot, the corruption is so small and insignificant in this space. Maybe that's what I was supposed to see.
Word is that it grows here in the east, the corruption, although this place under the stars seems to be somewhat of a sanctuary. The hostess,
and yet it is
hostesses.
Huh. If you were to join the roots at this moment, you could be one with the grass for months and lay there still if you were to fall in this place, in this starlit courtyard. Huh. She seems kind of like it's like she is being told information. Like she is taking in this stuff and like kind of relaying it as it like comes to mind.
Yes. Where corruption would be less strong, yes. there would be nothing to move the body.
The hostess here is most gracious. I'm not sure what magic she's woven upon this place, but it's, aside from some company here, it's been safe and good once we dealt with an initial problem that was... I'm sorry, a story for another time. Don't mean to
You
take
may
up...
follow me. And she starts walking.
Sven will scoop up his headdress off the ground and
Yep.
kind of scooch along after her.
Yep. Nana will fall right into step. Walk and talk is a common thing.
And she does not go incredibly far. She walks sort of back onto the path a bit and then veers off again and then stops at one of these lampposts. This one is kind of, it goes up and then it kind of does like a bit of a wide W shape before it goes back up again. And there is a nude woman laying across it. It looks like the most uncomfortable thing. She got the short end of the stick. This is rough. That she is the person who has to lay on this, but she is a trooper.
She's
and the
getting
matron,
good compensation for this.
The matron approaches and seems to be taking in this lantern. You may continue.
I'm not sure. This is my first time in the East. I don't know. I've seen so little of it so far. I know your travels must take you wide and far abreast. I've never seen anything like this place, but I've been told of great abominations that lie further east of here, and great spaces of beauty as well. I've been told of a home to friends of ours called Dem Woods. It was meant to be wonderfully naturally beautiful, but lies in the shadow of the city under the skull, which, from the perspective of the West, is quite a different sort of place, from what I hear.
And they all rest upon the dirt, and they all see the grass, and they all watch the trees bend.
We have not been in the West for some time now. We've been traveling. Is it safer now to rest upon the dirt? If someone were to fall there, could they be laid to rest beneath the dirt, or does the corruption still take them?
Things have shifted, I suppose is the best way to phrase it. Things are more inclined to corruption around points of power, the forest, the mountain. And yet, the mountain has been quieted for the West. The East is experiencing a shift they are not used to, dirt that they are not used to. And I am not sure my place in that, but one could not be buried beneath the dirt and expect to stay there. Nowhere. And that's how it always has been.
Do the roots say nothing of any chance of that ever changing?
That's all the roots have ever known. It is the roots. This is the world you were born into, the world I was born into, your parents' parents' parents. They have only seen this world. I would never ask the earth to change. I couldn't. As dangerous as she may be at times, as unforgiving, but I would not ask her to change as she would not ask me to.
Pray,
But
matron,
surely. Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
I only wanted to ask. What would the roots do to those who force some change upon the earth, who would do something to harm the earth and change it for the worse, for the balance?
I could not tell you, for it is not my place or yours to say what the balance is. What you may consider for the worse, the roots may disagree. I can't say. If the roots feel a problem and crave my protection, I go there. I've been called here.
Thank you, matron.
I feel our calling is more personal. We don't have the same link to those that call us. We have a sense of right and wrong that I think that we mostly agree upon, and we try to make the best of it and use our lives to do so. That's what brings us east. We've met new friends here who've helped us do what we think to be great good in protecting the people of this land.
Hopefully protecting the land itself. That's what we want.
One of them has a great affliction. I hope at some point maybe you could view her and share your wisdom as to what might help her. You brought such strength and healing to Briarheart, and I don't know if you could deign to do so, if you could help to rid my friend of this affliction. It does not seem corruption as of the same sort that strikes the land, but it seems such a small task. By comparison, you gave us bountiful harvests. You brought us shielding from the harshest winters with song and spell, and I'm not even sure, just your presence. Surely to help one girl could not be such a challenge.
I was Briarheart because Briarheart soil sang to me, because her people sang to me, and we are bonded in blood, and that I cannot refute. And so I responded to the soil in kind and gave her my blessing as I give any soil that sings to me and summons me. As I said, I do not steer my hand, though, as I am a starlit courtyard, I will observe the people who dance and sing within this dome that keeps out the harshness of the world, and if the soil bid it, I will help her. There are many, many people on this continent. You can always say it is just one person to help, to hinder, to lead. But then it is 1,000,000. I will see if the soil sings for her.
She's a child of water, the water that brings nourishment to the roots themselves. She is good. She does good. Has done
She's
good. Will do
also-
good.
She's also a druid. Circle of the Moon, I believe she's mentioned.
No,
No.
not a
Shit.
circle.
I'm a dingus.
Shit.
Fuck! Forget it!
Listen.
Pretend Nana got it right! I'm smooth brain, not Nana! Let Nana get it right for her friend, please!
Might be
Circles don't
better
matter
if
too much, anywho.
yeah, might be better if Nana doesn't say anything about a circle.
Fine. Nana doesn't say shit.
If we're retconning.
I will allow this retcon in these trying times.
Thank you.
But you should always pick Circle of the Moon. It's the best one. Hot take. Anywho, you may continue.
I'll bring her to you and see if the soil and the roots sing in her presence. She's brought song to us and to many others. I would love to see her aided if possible. Milady, thank you. Thank you for your time and your grace.
Thank you very much, Matron.
Parting words. Just based on your requests and demeanor, and this is very common, and I do not fault anyone for it. The roots, the soil, the trees, they have no sense of morality. They care not if an old man falls or a young one. They care not if a tree, when uprooted, destroys a home. They do not care if their winters burden the people that grow the crops from the tilled soil. Corruption has no morality. It just is, and it takes, and it rends, and it ruins. And it is all right to feel burdened by that, to feel scorned by that. But we cannot ask her to change and feel something she never has. We can only ask her to continue as she is. That is all.
Are we not children of the soil? Are we not the children of Yggdrasil? Are we not a way for the soil to know itself?
Of course. When you return to her womb, and you are given new life.
I will give that my thought. Thank you, my lady.
Of course. And she looks to the lamppost for a moment. And then it seems she's like veering herself to go to the next one and gives you an acknowledging bow. And as she walks, just the gentle bounce of her hair as she moves on to the next.
She's truly lovely.
She's beautiful. Not sure what to think of her words.
She speaks as nature speaks. Just that, nothing more.
We need to find Nyx.
Yeah. Let's go.
Then, a moment. And you see a woman clad in pearls making her way through the parade.
I like to look at Fen.
Fen straightens up, gets a bit of a smile from some of the melancholy and concern that was just there as The look of reverence still upon his face, but some of the sadness is gone, and that's and Fen straightens up. He's got some purpose. Something can be accomplished here. Fine, next. I'll catch up with you. I can't hear you, no.
Oh. All right. Yeah, of course. Enjoy, Fen.
Give me a moment. I'll catch up with you.
Nana will kind of make her way a bit off, maybe a little around a corner if there is one, and bye.
Roll me a luck check to see if we are in a more open space or a space where you can actually hide. Because I'll be honest, I was envisioning a more open setting, but
You're
I'd be
probably
willing
right,
to bend.
based on that
if-
roll. Nope. Yeah, that's
It's
a
a
2 on the
pretty
dice.
open
It's a 2 on the
setting.
dice. Yeah, sure is. Okay, fine.
You guys are still slightly off the path, which means there's almost nobody in the space.
Neat. Great. Cool. Fine. Cool.
Question for the DM.
Mhm.
Where the matron was just walking in the grass bent to her, were there any little flowers there or anything like that?
You look to that space, and the grass that was there regionally seems to have rejuvenated and has grown in length a bit. You see that there are some more naturally occurring flowering plants in what people might consider more in the weed department. It is just what would have naturally probably been in that space. Nothing abnormal. Nothing placed there strangely. It's like, yeah, that's what would have been here on this unmanicured part of land. Just some very basics.
Yeah, just a small flower. Fen's a basic dude. Never mind the raiment. Picks a small
Disregard my outfit.
my ostentatious antlers.
Uh-huh.
Picks a small flower from what is a weed plant, but it's still a plant with a flower. And brings it to Kareen as he heeds her beckon.
She smiles. Oh, all right, Nana. Have a good night, I suppose. And seems just like actually confused that you just fully turned and left.
I turned away. I did give Kareen, Nana would have given Kareen, at the very least, a bow of acknowledgement. But she
Her
is
reaction
kind of,
still stands.
fine. All right. Yep. Scooting on. Is Roshan anywhere in sight at all? Or Keld? Or Nyx, for that matter?
Nobody's hiding, so yeah, all three of them are visible.
Cool. Neat. Can I get any of their attention at all?
Which one do you want?
Well, Nyx, since I said to Fen I was going to find Nyx.
How are you getting Nyx's attention?
I'd like to kind of give her a small wave. And, oh shit. Sort of walk up, not wanting to interrupt.
Nana's waving and approaching you, Nyx. With your passive perception, you know that this is happening.
I'm walking away.
You begin to approach. Nyx turns as if you were Corrine in your just recent encounter. Starts walking the other way. Russ and Keld are also there with Nyx, and Russ is like, we all know where my loyalty lies, and he like scoops up like a piece of candy from the cart and kind of just like does a big turn and
we got
follows
3 boxes.
quickly.
We got 3 boxes of popcorn to get through.
Keld, are you following, or are you just kind of like, yeah, hey, sorry? But Nyx and Russ are walking away. That is very apparent.
I think Keld will wait for Nana.
She's a bit rough, but that's fine. She's gonna walk up to Keld and just say really quick, okay, 2 things. First thing, Fen's gonna want to talk to Nyx about introducing her to the matron because he wants to know whether or not the matron can help her with her curse. Wonderful. Second thing, you remember the thing I was saying about Fen and his date. Nana kind of like bobs her head in the direction of Fen and Corrine.
And you watch Fen kiss Corrine's hand and they part. By the time this would have happened, their conversation would be
Yep.
over.
Nana's
But we'll
not
get back to it,
looking
don't
there.
worry.
Yeah.
But it would be over by the time you found your friend, ran over, started talking to Keld. That's how quick it was.
Okay. Alrighty. I can't be around
He
her right now.
seems okay.
I know he does. He broke off again, Kelt.
What do you mean?
Like I told you before. You remember how I described it?
I'm not sure.
Instant shift. Do you remember I mentioned just like that?
As soon as he saw her?
She said his name. He turned to look. Total, absolute nothing. So
it's probably safe to assume something's going on.
who knows what, and
Who knows how we could find out?
probably would need for somebody to actually see him at the moment that he sees her or speaks with her or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna take. I can't clock this. It looks normal and it feels wrong, and that's all I know.
I have to imagine Fen is like already walking back up the path to rejoin Nana after this
So
brief interruption in things that took no time at all.
I'll assume Fen did at least a precursory about the place and then heads over, which I'll go back to Fen and then we'll put you in their group. Fen, she walks up to you and watches Nana go. It seems I've rubbed her the wrong way.
I'm not sure why. You've been nothing but lovely and gracious since we've been here.
That's all right. Can't please everyone. And she looks around the space. I know that for certain. Well, it seems you had a pleasant conversation with the matron, and you feel a voice move into your head. Your next target is General Talaran. The same rules as before. Place the tracker where it is least likely to be found. Tell no one about this task. If you are caught, you will shoulder the blame. I'm glad you connected so fondly with the matron. I'm glad there was another gift for you, and this is now out loud.
Yes, I hadn't seen her since I was a child. Beginning to question to myself whether she actually existed or not. She was regarded by everyone in the town so highly, and only came the once.
Was she preceded by parade that time? I should send Pink a letter, I suppose, and thank them for, honestly, the best part of the parade, in my opinion. And, looks at the rest of the parade and does not seem overly amused.
It's not within my recollection the last time she came to town. I remember my mother having a hand on my shoulder and not pointing to her, but gesturing to her, telling me the significance of her and what she had done for our little village. That was years ago.
Well, I'm very happy for you, Fen. I'm glad you were able to have a moment of reconnecting with someone again. And this one I did not orchestrate, so luck it is. And you hear somebody, Corrine, darling, my dog, I can't find one of them. Sneaky bitch. And Corrine smiles at you. I'm going to go assist a friend with her bitch problem. And extends a hand towards you.
Fen gives a bow and kisses her hand.
All right. And she gives you a little bit of a kind of a curtsy, but this dress is not giving. And she makes her way. Darling, Otis, could you please help our dear friend find her dog? And makes her way over to help. Fen, you've been given your second task to place a tracker upon General Talarin. And you can see Nana over there talking to Keld.
And Fen gives a look around the place to see if he can at least spot where General Talarin is. He's seen her before.
Yep.
Tangentially met her, and but he's going to proceed back up the path to. Nyx was right there. Where the hell did she go?
Yeah, Nick, I saw her. And so you step in like right up next to Nana and Keld, and you guys can start right from where you were.
Keld was gonna look around to see if there's anyone else who may have witnessed that interaction.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody saw them talking.
Is there anybody who looks familiar?
No.
Okay.
There's a woman you saw at the inn once who had two dogs, but she's currently holding one dog. So it's you recognize
that's
her.
The dog problem.
The bitch problem.
Indeed.
It's the bitch problem.
It is. You know?
But yeah, Fen, you approach, and it's just a moment of silence, like you've walked into mourning.
How you doing? How was it with Corrine? She doing all right?
She's busy as always.
She seems it.
Like to say it, she looks phenomenal tonight. Not quite the same without the red, but not missing much else.
Is she wearing only beads?
Pearls.
Pearls, as is her custom, but she looks lovely.
Opulence suits her.
Keld, where's your sister? She was just here.
Yes, they went that way.
Someone I'd like her to meet, but all right. And Fern's gonna
Apparently, there was
look around
popcorn to be had.
The popcorn's supposed to be very good. Yes, that's what I've heard.
kettle corn. The kettle corn's the best.
Thought you said peppercorn.
No.
No, goodness. I mean, could crunch on one. That's not a snack I'd like. No.
Nyx, you and Russ have stepped away as he will basically follow you to the ends of the earth. So, a few feet that way, easy peasy.
Sure.
So I remember last year there was this drink that somebody brought, and I remember it was sour, and I know it was at one of these carts, and a woman steps up in, like, you see, he's like, actually, now that I remember something, well, now I want a delicious drink.
We gotta find it.
You have to try it. It makes your face do the scrunchy thing. And as he turns and kind of like a woman steps like into step with him.
Oh, no.
Well, while there's a parade, I would love to challenge you to a duel. First of all, if you'd oblige. Of course. One moment next. We'll find it. Can't be that hard to find sour drinks. And you all see that Russ is now off to his third combat. Roshan, during this time, Alyona is wrapping up her conversation with Egil. I'm sure we'll be having more conversation. Thank you for speaking to me. I appreciate it. And they exchange some goodbye pleasantries, and she seems like she's just gonna now exit that conversation.
Roshan will give a polite nod to Egil and a quiet, like, sly smile, something that Egil would get. And then he'll walk away with Corrine, and he'll say, "I'm sorry I didn't ask sooner, but are the bruises on your palms an effect of your magic? I've noticed a tick."
She lifts a hand and observes it. I've had this tick for most of my life. A way to relieve the stress of magical overload. But they are not related. And she examines her hand. This is evidence that we are not meant to hold the holy, which is humbling and devastating. And like you can see her jaw tense up a bit. You realize, you kind of envision the night prior, and you remember how Chernobog and Alyona danced palm to palm, straight hands, as they moved through the space.
Roshan smiles a little bit, both impressed and astonished, I think. And he says, would you like, I can't promise that it would work, but would you like some healing?
I am personally incapable of mending flesh. Was never in my purview, but I will keep this for now. As a reminder.
Well, then I hope that it doesn't bring you any suffering.
I we are all going to continue to suffer. We just have to hope that it does not mimic our peak. That we have already been past as terrible as things can go, and that we are plateauing.
You know, I think you are at the precipice of a mountain, but I think larger mountains lie in the distance. I don't think you're done growing.
That is very sweet. From little baby, and she smiles. I cannot wait to see this mountain. And when I move it, I will show you the empty valley I have created.
You are delightful and terrifying.
Thank you. I know. And she kind of like straightens back up. The smells of all of these candies is a bit nauseating. The different smells together.
Interesting. Let's see if we can find an acquaintance of mine. She named her cow after a god, or maybe her cow is a god. I'm not sure. But I have a feeling you two might get along. She's pretty easygoing.
That is probably the craziest sentence I have heard in the last couple months. Sure, show me to the cow. And we'll let you lead her to Elliot Athumbla.
Yeah. That's where Roshan's going.
The cow is blazed, y'all.
They are both as drunk and high as their species will allow them to be.
Forget eating grass. Smoking it's where it's at.
Well, shit. And she's just like she's like she was propped up against a tree, but has been slowly slipping, and it's now only her head just sort of propped up. Hello there, Roshan. Are you having fun at your parade?
A lot of fun. Thank you, Ellie. Ellie, this is my friend Alyona. Alyona, this is Ellie and Athumbla. And Roshan will, I don't know, is Athumbla munching on anything?
Yeah, I assume that this cow is just perpetually in game munching on like grass, just perpetually.
Roshan will pick some grass for Athumbla to munch out of his hand.
Thumbla seems real used to people and happy to do that. Nothing behind the eyes, really, but happy to do it nonetheless. So I've been told that your cow is your country's god. Is that true? Ellie smiles big, and you can see that like a couple teeth in the back are missing from this wide smile. And she looks over at Athumbla. Well, of course. Look at it. This started the universe. And just like pats Athumbli's cheek as they munch on this grass. How lucky for us. Athumbla thawed the ice, so that we could be. I am forever grateful, Athumbla, for your contribution. You bitch. And like pats the cheek. Athumbla has no reaction to anything that's happening. Alyona sort of like watches and blinks. Okay. Well, it is very nice to meet you. What phrase do you use for your gods when you are like giving them like your highness, your grace, your like what would you do if I was going to address this cow properly?
Most holy, perhaps.
Your most holy grace, Athumbla. May you continue to munch grass and live prosperous. Well, it has been really great, and Ellie like has like finished pulling like a joint out of her bag and is like, before you go, and Alyona looks, you all right? And it's Alyona stays. Yeah, okay. And
Roshan will nod to both of them and slip away.
Alyona mage hands this so that she doesn't have to grab anything with her hands, and they all
So
smoke
good.
together.
Hell
That's what
yeah.
they're
Hell
doing.
yeah.
I can't wait for what Alyona comes up with when she's high. This is so good.
How hard do you think it is to destroy this dome? Give me one chance to destroy it, only one. I bet I can.
Do it! Do it!
You guys want to see snow? Hopefully, it's not like
Here we go.
flash shards of magic. We'll see.
Hope not.
But yeah, Roshan, is there where else you wanted to head after you leave them to their devices, or are you like, I'm vibing?
I think Roshan, like, I guess, where are we in the evening? How late is it?
I'm gonna say the thing I will give you is like we're at midway. We're
Okay.
midway through the night.
I think Roshan wants to do a dance later, but in the meantime is just keeping an eye out for any interesting people, including Russ's boss.
Okay.
He hasn't seen a big entrance yet, so doesn't know if he's looking for anyone who's here. So.
Yeah, they weren't with the parade.
Yeah.
Where's the big entrance? But yeah, you start kind of walking around, taking things in. You see that Russ is now participating in his third fight, which is once again over in a handful of seconds, as most fights are. you have yet to experience a fight that is like over a minute. Like some of them just crest it, but like people beat the shit out of each other so fast and then it's over. It's there's no like dancing around it. It's as hard as we can hit as fast as we can. And that's how all of these duels have gone. But anybody want to do anything currently on the hunt for something as Russ exits the dome and heads for Nyx? What are people up to?
I will speak since no one else will. Was Fun able to spot General Talern?
Yeah, none of these people are stealthing, and also the Lady Lord is a really good beacon for finding people, as she is very tall and has these huge spider legs protruding from her back, and you're like, and General Tallerin. So you are able to find General Tallerin.
So how is General Tallerin presenting? Like, what weapon does she have at her side? Does it look like it's ornamental? Does it look like it's like she's got this in case, like, this is the blade she would carry or whatever in case like shit happened? Like,
Yeah, give me a perception check.
cool. Let me pull up the thing. 25.
25. Okay. General Tallerin, I'll just give you the rundown, is currently wearing what you believe to be the same armor that you saw her in at the inn. That this is the armor she wears. But at the moment, it is much more highly decorated. It's like, well, here's the 15 ribbons that you earned for everything you've done in the last years in your rule as general. And we all slapped them all onto the armor so that we could fancy it up a bit. General Tallerin also is armed, has a dual-sided scimitar that is sheathed, and because it was a question last time, just for funsies, General Tallerin is wearing gloves. Wearing gloves, the only skin that's really exposed is their face. But they are wearing this armor, they have this weapon. You're currently walking with Nana and Keld. Are you kind of peeling off? Are you like, it's been real? Or are you just doing like a kind of like a side glance?
Just a glance at the moment.
Yeah.
Is she interacting with anyone, or is she on duty, or what is she?
At this time, she is currently staying close to the Lady Lord and Egil. She does not look like she's interacting with anybody in this moment, but is currently eating cotton candy. So, priorities, I suppose.
I think Fen is going to peel off. Give me a moment. I'm gonna stop in, check something out for a moment. I'll catch up with you. We'll find Nyx in a bit. I don't know where she went, but I'll be right with you.
Sure? Okay?
It's
You
fine.
didn't
No,
wanna...
it's fine.
Okay. All right. Okay. Catch up with you in a bit, Fun. Seems weird, right? Do I need to insight roll that?
You're welcome to take that as you would like to take it.
Cool. Okay. All right. Nana's not going to stop him from just like darting off, but he usually has some kind of explanation for where he goes when he goes somewhere. Something. Some line. He usually has something specific.
So Fen's gonna walk up to Eagle and General Tallerin, kind of in that area, and just gonna. How does someone wield something like that? No, I'm not challenging to a duel or anything. To General Tallerin at her double-bladed scimitar.
Eagle has sort of put, so like General Tallerin's here. Eagle steps up and is like half a step ahead of General Tallerin because he's like, you can see Eagle's like, this is not exactly what I expected expected to be a duo. He doesn't say anything. Acknowledges you walk up, but you can see that he's like, "Hi, Fen," like just in his eyes, like, "Hey, bud, good to see you."
Hey,
General Tallerin stops and looks over. "Oh, God, it's been a long time since I saw you having your fun little drinks and you're listening to music at the bar." And she pulls out the dual scimitar. It really is a lot of gosh, it's a lot of murdering, you know?
I mean, it just
It's
seems murdering, not just righteous defense of your homeland, but murdering.
well, I've just learned your language. Hold your horses, don't
Oh,
get too
yeah.
crazy. You see the Lady Lord takes this in and then starts walking. "It was good to see you. Sorry." And quickly follows after the Lady Lord, who you see is walking towards the group of goblins from the Underdark, and is like, "I'm gonna go talk over there now." And General Talon gives like a quick bow and makes her way over. Eagle gives you a bow. "Evening, Fen.
Good evening, buddy. How are you doing?
I've been better. How are you doing?"
Um, it's been an interesting evening. It's all some
Hmm.
people I never thought I'd see again. It hasn't been so bad.
Well, that's great, Mr. Finn. I'm glad you're having a decent night.
Uh, Are you going home after this?
I don't think so. Not for a minute. There's
Oh,
there's more to unweave, and I'm obligated to help.
uh, seems like a lot of responsibility to have in two places.
Hmm. Well, lucky for me, I have somebody who's a much better chief than I could ever be holding the reins. So, could be worse, I suppose.
Understood. Hope she's well taken care of.
By the way, your outfit is a sight to behold.
I thought it was nice. It was something that came to me. I just yeah, festival was important. I don't usually get dressed up for anything. This was just I just had the idea that I wanted to do it.
It was a
You
good
also,
choice.
yeah. It's interesting. Usually, I'm the one hiding in the shadows, and Roshan's the more ostentatious one. But he's behind his little veil and can't even see him.
Hmm.
Interesting reversal of roles there. I'm
That's fine.
surprised you're not spending more time with him.
If this were an actual party for me where I was invited as a guest and we're having a good time, I would stand by no one else's side. But I'm currently at work. So,
Uh, Understood. I just think he'd probably appreciate seeing you. Been a long time.
I will. Thank you, Finn. I appreciate that.
How does she not stab herself with that?
With
With the
the
blade?
scimitar.
Yeah.
Currently, I've luckily not had to be on the receiving end of that. I haven't gotten to see it in action yet, so I'll tell you if I learn any.
Is she tough? Like somebody could take her in the duel? Her versus Russ, who do you think?
Hmm. And the thing is, that guy's made for dueling. Like somebody, like a purebred dog. Somebody picked that up and trained it for years and made it into an expert dueler. General Tallerin is a master technician, master tactician, master in armed warfare. I've seen discussion of siege weapons, uh, uh, diplomacy, even on occasion. But in a one-on-one fight, I'll dwell on it, but one of them was meant to be fighting in a group, and one of them was not.
Russ, good comparison with Russ. He is very much a puppy dog.
Well, I'm glad he has been nothing but pleasant for you and your companion.
No, I'm not trying to fight him either. What kind of idiot would do that?
Yeah, you shouldn't. There's no reason for any of you to do any more dueling. I think you guys have certainly, gotten good firm footing on the ground, and I think you're good.
It was good to see you, Eagle. I'm going to go rejoin my friends.
All right, Mr. Finn. You have a good night. I would love you to give me deception real quick. And this is just for the earlier interaction of approaching the group. He's just trying to see if he can pick up on anything. If he's like, is this dude just having the best night of his life and wants to talk to people? Because maybe.
Fen just started having the worst night of his life because that's a natural one.
Okay. Eagle gives you a quick bow, and then he is going to turn and return to General Tallerin and the Lady Lord, who are now surrounded by like a large grouping of people, a lot of eyes currently. And you're going to go return to your companions?
That's what I was doing before I badly failed the roll, so that's what I'm going to continue doing afterwards.
Perfect. And you make your way over there, and that is where we are going to take our break. We're going to take a break, go get a snack and a drink, and we will get back to the festivities in 10 minutes.
Thank you, 10.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 163 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break. Everybody is having a good time and partying. They asked a being of nature if they could change nature, and she said no. But hey, she would talk to their friend at least. She's like, hey, nature isn't good or bad. It just is. I don't know, man. This place is weird, though, right? But
Yeah, it
imagine
sure
that
is.
real stoic and like, druid riddles and stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine it more like that.
Answering
Um,
questions with questions, you know.
and Alyona is currently smoking with Ellie and Athum, and Russ just had his third fight of the evening, and Fen just cased out his next target. Just got to wait for an opportunity, and maybe they peel off just a little bit. Or, just a slightly better setup besides being near multiple monarchs. Where just you can imagine the amount of visible guards in that space where two of the rulers from the Underdark come and talk to each other. Just a little gaggle of invisible people. Roshan is currently looking to see if anyone else is hot and interesting. Does anybody want to do anything in particular, even if it's like okay, like not in this exact moment, but this is what I'm doing? Yes, Nana.
While Fen was off and talking with Egil and General Talarin, I think Nana kind of like leads Keld a little bit away, but not quite so far out of sight that we lose track of Fen. And just kind of say to Keld, like, so, all right, we already know he's playing games for the sake of somebody else. And, well,
I
they
feel
seem
like
to
we've
be...
all been playing games for someone else for this party. Seems to
I
be the
hate it.
theme.
Yeah, I know, I'm not thrilled. We're all dancing to somebody else's tune, and it's what it is, and this is the last night, and God's willing, won't be like this once we're gone and we can get out to them woods.
Yeah, we'll make it through this night.
You're sure Nyx doesn't mind me coming? I don't know, I don't know.
Yeah, she just needs some space, so
Okay,
I think we should give her tonight.
okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm not trying to be weird about it.
It's okay.
Can't mess up this makeup.
It's all
Can't
kind
help
of
me
weird.
with it. Yeah, I know.
A man in a wheelchair, like long purplish bluish hair,
Hmm.
shirt that exposes chest to belly button. You see rolls by and like kind of like gives you like a lift of the glass.
Hmm.
And fully takes in that you were crying tears at this party and having a moment. You see that is something captured, and once that is captured, he's like, evening, and then rolls off.
Shit. Fuck. Oh, that's not helping. Okay, Keld, can we go? Can we go somewhere? That'd be great.
Yeah, let's take a walk.
Cool. Thanks.
Want some candy?
I'd love some.
You
Keld
two
will
start
happily share.
walking. Yeah, you guys eat candy and walk a little.
Yep.
Russ comes over to
Definitely don't
you.
cry.
Yep.
Nyx. Pride I've sorry, she
You okay?
uh, yeah, I think I just I haven't fully recovered from yesterday.
We can move the number down to 5.
Sorry, 6 fights are mine. And then you can step in and Honestly, I haven't really gotten to watch you do a lot of fighting, but I'm sure it's very cool. I was in a worm.
Exactly. Which is why I should go in earlier.
I accept that you've given me this proposal, and
Mm-hmm.
I will put it in here. And if I'm like, okay,
Right.
yeah, I
Yeah.
will. I'll remember that it's been offered.
Especially
Be more
like
conscious to
if they're
watch my wife fight.
right. Especially if they're not a spellcaster, like if they're more like what you would do, that'd be better.
Right. I will try to time it perfectly so you look very cool.
Thank you. We should find this drink.
Right. Nix, you can see over his shoulder. Everybody is starting to make their way away from the dueling arena.
Hmm.
And you watch Jin Lee step up next to it and wait.
Hmm. Actually, could you actually, if you could go find, I'm gonna go talk to someone really quick.
Sure. I won't go far.
I won't be far either.
Okay. I'll try and find this drink. We'll see if it
Wait.
exists.
Awesome. And I'm gonna go over to Jinli.
Jin Lee is now the only person really standing in this space and looking towards it like a duel's already happening.
Hmm. It's not very interesting when there's no one in there.
People have always told me that I'm pretty good at observing and imagining scenario. So that's what I'm doing. Observing. Imagining.
All right. So, like I said before, I spent the last 2 days thinking about your offer.
Oh.
I told you I just needed some time.
Of course. It's just the
It's-
time you needed.
Right. And it didn't really seem like this gesturing that this was gonna work. I didn't have a good backup, but I have a deal that I will offer.
I would love to hear it.
I am willing to give you this sickle if you enter a magically binding contract to not harm, eat, or send other people after to help you harm or eat / consume Roshan and his sister Rose.
You see that she she takes in the information and she seems to be thinking, and she turns her focus back to the arena. And there's a pause. Well, that is certainly a well thought out. And she just starts laughing. It looks like she was trying to maintain this kind of cool forward demeanor. Starts laughing. Then just gulps in air. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be so rude. We aren't making deals anymore. The only thing we are doing is I am receiving a sickle, or I will see that man breathe his last. That's where I am currently. No other deal necessary, in my opinion. And if I miss out on the sickle because of this, then so be it.
I suppose you'll be here then, if I decide to do that. And I'll walk away. Okay.
Have a good evening. I'll be seeing you in a moment.
Mm.
And you see Russ, it's he's like, the stand! And then a person steps in front of him and he's like, ooh! As Russ is challenged to his fourth duel of the evening, and comes over for Jin Lee to watch excitedly. And he takes his next dose of these drugs that he inhales into his mouth. And you can see that it's he's winded. He seems to already be winded. But goes into the fight nonetheless and does what he always does. entertains.
Mhm.
Is anybody else doing anything in particular? Anything somebody wanted to do, somebody they wanted to talk to? You can say, it's mission time, and I'll be like, it's mission time. Like, like, I could be swayed to begin Ocean's 11 at any time.
I think Roshan would like to go get eyes on Alder Tidings and see if at some point when he's not talking, he could put the thought into Alder's brain to sing one of the classics.
Okay. You make your way over and into this space. You see that two men in black suits are still there watching and just taking in the performance itself. You see there's a moment where he's kind of like, there's this thing adjacent to a mic that has been like hovering in front of him, like this little ball of energy is what projects his voice throughout the party. And you watch he kind of like puts his hand on it and it kind of gives a little bit, and he's just like using it like to hold himself up in place and seems to kind of be leaning on it in this moment. And you just see vampire boyfriends like murmuring to each other and watching.
I think Roshan is going to just start sending him some messages. And the first one, no, I think he's gonna go immediately to 10 and say in Alder's head, wouldn't this be beautiful if it ended like you'd intended all those years ago with that beautiful song?
And kind of shifts his head slightly in space. Is this something that can be responded to, or is this you just...
Yeah, I wanted to use message.
Oh, okay. I wish time had stood still. I wish it could. I really wish it could. And kind of like straightens back up. You can ask out loud if you have a request.
I think then Roshan would make his way to the front of the stage. It's not a very tall stage, right?
No, if you like stood, you guys would do kind of like this in a scenario if you went and stood in front of it. He is not like way up there.
Yeah, I think Roshan will do that, and I feel like the brim of his hat is probably at Alder's waist, and so he tilts it up to see him and says, I think it would be lovely if you played. And Josh doesn't remember the name of the song that he remembers from his youth, but it's the one that made an impression on him.
And you can see that kind of like Alder like kind of uses the mic and like leans in to hear you talk. And vampire boyfriends watching, enthralled. And you see one of them smiles brightly when you bring up playing one of the classics. Something that I think at least one of you heard them mention is that they wish he'd
it was Roshan.
yeah,
and
that
he
they
wanted
wish he'd
to
play something classics.
Yeah.
And he straightens up. By request, I'm gonna sing Good to Me. And leans into this mic and begins to sing, and it is an upbeat, jauntier tune. And the lyrics are so heart-wrenching. just prepared beautifully, but it is sorrow, but given to you in a palatable way that lets your mind and your heart take this in. And it is either something that you will want to dance and sing to and be merry, or it is something that will make you weep. The song hits emotionally. And you watch one of the vampire boyfriends with a short, darker, curlier hair kind of like puts a hand to his mouth, and you can see his eyes beginning to water as he watches Alder perform, and they seem enraptured. One of them in Alder, one of them in the other, as they watch them enjoy this moment.
And I think Roshan gets a polite distance away because this isn't a song that makes him dance, it makes him feel emotions. And I think he feels a little bit of like really melancholy vibes because the song is really melancholy, but happy that he could make the vampire boyfriends happy, doing a little good deed for the party.
Yeah, good deed. And you're gonna make some distance. And
Yeah, a polite distance so that I can close enough to watch, but not close enough to be in the dancing area.
okay. Keldon, Nix, is there anything in particular you guys wanted to do? Nana, is there something? Ven, what's going? Is there something you want to go do before this party ends?
Well, I do want to know whether or not we were within earshot of the lounge where Alder is performing when he started in on this song that gives feelings.
Oh, you can hear it. His voice is projected through the whole grounds.
It's through the entire grounds.
Yeah.
I might need more popcorn, and you may or may not need to just check on Fen. If I could ask you to do that while I just take a breather, I'll help out in a bit once I've got my legs under me, but this song's got to be over first. Okay?
So what are you asking, Nana?
Oh, sorry. Oh, would you mind just taking a quick look around, see whether or not you spot Fen? I don't know, if he seems like he's in trouble, just sort of give him a hand, I guess. I don't know.
I'll keep an eye out.
Thank you.
Okay. Keld, are you just going to stand in the courtyard and be like, let me keep eyes on Fen?
No.
T2000.
I think Keldo's planning to try to find the trio,
Mm-hmm.
but he'll of course keep an eye out for Finn while he's around him. But
Yeah, you make your way to the after walking around, you find them in the lounge, like standing by the table that creates drinks that you request. Hey, you've been doing whatever you've been doing tonight. They're shit-faced.
Mhm.
I don't know what I've been doing.
They've been pretty gone. Yeah, you didn't dance, you didn't. Have
Did
you had a drink?
dance?
I mean, of course we dance. We always dance. Have you had a drink?
I don't think I have.
Holy shit. You guys are fucked up. I don't know what happened to you guys. This is none of our business. It's none of our business. You need a drink. And Maggie kind of skips forward and puts her hand on the table. Strongest thing you got. Bing bang boom. Thank you. I'd give you tips, but they don't go through the table. And it's just kind of like patting the table rapid fire.
Oh God.
And a clear liquid is produced in a smaller glass. And Maggie picks it up and hands it to you.
Looks like water.
I bet it is.
Uh-oh.
Keld will just down it.
Oh yeah, bad, terrible, bad and terrible.
Doesn't taste like water.
Oh,
It's
my bad.
liquor.
I was confused when I said strongest. I meant like the best for your body, and they misunderstood my order. Oops. And the ladies are just cackling and are basically now intending to just kind of lead you around and get you drinks to like actually make you party.
Yeah.
All
That
right.
sounds fun right now.
It's like, oh hell yeah. So Keld is off with the ladies. Russ returns to your side, Nix. All right. I found the stand where the drinks are. Very exciting.
Right. How much worse does he look now?
Kind of in the same, range.
You sure you're okay?
I don't feel good, Nix. I feel pretty terrible, but I know what it feels like at this moment to be on the edge of what is safe for me. So I'm good for now.
I think I'm just gonna fix this. Make this stop.
And he kind of takes you like by the shoulders gently. Nix, we cave to no one. Nobody is our master in this space, not here, not now.
I'm not gonna keep this thing over making sure you live through the night. Just a weapon. I have another weapon.
And when she asks for something else, when she says, just kidding, and then we have caved and we have showed our hand.
Well, let me just go challenge the lizard and get it over with.
Oh, we're not challenging the lizard. His face. I feel like that's good enough. I'll do it a second time if I have to.
But if I do it now, then this stops because she can't send him after you after she sent 50 other people. Because it's already done.
All right, if actually, all right, at this point, if that lizard starts walking up to me and looks like he wants to get another taste, he's yours. You may step in before he gets to me, or you may step in as my second if he approaches me.
But what if she sends her other friend? She's been walking around with 2 people.
I feel like I should keep that one. Because we don't know what we're dealing with yet.
Right. But if she's gonna send the other one, I know I could handle the other guy. And if I just go up to him now, I know I can handle him.
I would prefer that we don't. And we make it their choice if they are going to continue to fuck with us. And we retaliate when necessary. I'm not going to fall in that arena. And neither are you.
She's fairly certain you're going to die in that. It's her mission.
I will happily prove her wrong then.
I don't know if I can handle it. Like, this tattoo is warbling real bad.
Nix. Just hold out a little longer. Thank you. Contract still stands, and also the addendum of if a lizard walks up to me, you are welcome. If a lizard looks at me weird, I'll even like make it if he looks at me weird. You are welcome to step in and make sure none of them can interfere, even a little bit. But honestly, if they keep sending their people in, she's the one losing currently. The amount of status hits she's taken. People know what's going on. People aren't stupid.
I don't think she cares.
Well, let's hold out just a little longer for me.
What if Keld steps in if it's the other one? Can we make that deal? Because
Alright.
Keld's better at magic people.
Yeah?
Okay.
So if the lizard approaches me, all yours. If the other one approaches me, all Keld's.
I have to go find him then.
I will say my handler did say that they will not be stepping to me, but people lie all the time, so we'll just keep it in mind.
Based on her response, it really didn't seem like it was stopping. So,
She could also just be being a bitch and fucking with you. Which is, honestly, on any of the levels, that is the case, but...
maybe. Get a drink, find where Keld ran off to.
Sure. May I accompany you?
Yeah.
All right, I was
I
just
don't
making
want to
sure.
go alone.
I was just, and he's like already like putting his arm around you, so I was just checking. And he smiles and then like straightens up. He like looks around. Thank you. All right, boss is here. Other people to talk to first, and then I will tell you when it's time for our meeting.
Okay. We have to find Keld anyway. Got it.
All right. And you two start walking. Fen, what are you looking for? What are you waiting for? What do you want?
Not trying to show his hand too much and like be
Mhm.
on General Tallerin when Fenn's looking for Nyx, honestly. That's one of the things he set out to do was find Nyx and make an introduction if possible, and so Fenn wants to see if he can find Nyx.
Wow. It's as if the universe smiles upon you as you get eyes on Nyx. She is followed by a large red beacon, so you're like, find Russ, he tall. There's Nyx. You see out of the corner of your eye General Tallerin bow and split from the group she is with and goes and intercepts Nyx. General Tallerin and Nyx are together.
Okay, Fenn's gonna do the thing he did before and prep that thing on his inner arm onto his left palm, and he's gonna just, as he approaches, he'll make a production about being sorry to interrupt the conversation, but place his hand on the, well, I guess it's double-edged, so it doesn't have a pommel, but
there's
on
one in the center part, so you could do there.
Okay. Yeah. So, just kind of in a, I'm sorry, in the slightly rude, man touches lower back of woman that he's not supposed to excuse himself by, but Nyx, and apply that to her scimitar.
Okay.
There's someone.
So, 1 second, Fen. So you've set out your plan. I have it. Nyx will have just a moment with General Tallerin before you arrive on the scene.
Yeah, my best friend here,
I'm here with my best friend. Especially to like make yourself look casual and not beeline towards them. You're like, all right, I'm approaching. Now that I know where General Tallerin's going. Approaches Nyx. How are you doing at your fancy fun party?
Do you want an honest answer to that?
Okay, but before you answer, have you tried the fun snacks?
Yes, we tried the popcorn. There's some drink. Did we even get the drinks? We're supposed to get that sour drink.
Oh, I have
That
to go looking for sour drink.
that's
I'm only assuming now that your answer is going to be having bad time.
it's just been like the whole day, and then
Mm,
worse. You
this is
know?
a bad time.
Yeah. Like, already dying. Other people want him dead because of me. It's just bad.
Mm. Uh, But when it's all said and done, when you're past this, when the hours tick away and you leave this bubble and you're back in your snow and your stars, you can do whatever you want. You can go be safe somewhere if you want, even for a short time.
We're gonna hopefully try somewhat safe.
Um, People deserve to be able to feel safe.
I agree. Which is why we
And
should
you
just
watch her eyes. Uh-huh.
why we should just let her take the sickle. We don't have to worry about not being safe, but it's fine.
Oh,
It's fine.
and she looks over at the Lady Lord. Don't
What about it?
don't trade anything for your safety. That's how people know it can be bought, that you can be bullied.
Mm.
Don't gamble for safety. Hasn't worked yet.
Well, what do you think? Like, she keeps sending all these people after him. Just keeps because I won't give her this thing.
I mean, I would say leave. I would say walk outside of these walls. Nobody is stopping you. Exit and embrace the cold air that is there and it hits your face. It's a little unpleasant, but you go outside and you could be
Mhm.
away from it right now.
I don't know.
But you won't do that gamble for safety. And that's the easier one. That's your choice. Nobody else's.
Maybe after we talk to his boss, he'd be willing to go. Maybe.
Russ is doing that thing where he's like, you're having a conversation and is kind of
Yeah,
like off on the side, like
not paying
it's
attention
like,
at all.
yeah, he's like, I know when combos aren't for me.
Mhm.
Really good at that. As Fen is serpentining into this direction. Um,
Mhm.
well, you whatever you decide to do, you should be looking for safety. And you should be looking for comfort. And you should be allowed to have it.
You should too. I know you got this whole war,
Uh,
but
uh, I can let go of it. I can get my little fingers just release into the sky all these birds of hatred I feel towards every single one of them. Every friend I have lost, every family member, I can let it go for just a moment in my own home where I am not afraid. But
mhm.
she can't. She never will. She only knows malice. And I can't blame her for that. And I just want a moment. And I know I can't have that. I know she'll never sign some contract, some paper, agreeing to let it go. She won't.
Mm. Can you leave? Make a new home?
I would never. I spent my life protecting these people, loving these people, training these people, learning their names, and then memorizing their names every night so that I could speak to their loved ones and their friends and their families. But we can't always get those things.
Can I help in any way?
You're a very good friend, Nix. I will spin my noodle about and see if there's something that comes to mind of how you could help, because, and I mean that seriously, I know it doesn't always come out that way because I'm actively trying to think of all the words at the same time. But yeah.
Could I give
I'll
you a
tell you.
hug? Would that help right now? There was a nod. She's
Okay.
gonna give her a hug.
Fen, you're like, and they're hugging as they go in for a hug. Fen, you have your game plan and you're like, everybody Nix, and make your way into the space. Meanwhile, Roshan, you kind of closer to the entrance of the the ballroom, are watching Alder perform, and once he finishes, the excited but still golf claps of vampire boyfriends as they applaud the ending of this song, and you just can see Alder's smiling. And then you watch it slowly drop. But for a moment it was there. And you see it's like that took a lot out of him. And he kind of releases the mic and sits back into his simple wooden chair. And you hear the sound of glass breaking. And you look over, kind of just like over your shoulder towards the entryway. And somebody has pushed past a waiter, and that waiter, very Looney Tunes, and a couple glasses fall off and onto the cobblestones. But it seems somebody quickly appears to start prestidigitating all glass out of the area. A woman stumbles past this waiter, knocking them kind of off kilter. Tall, pale. She has dark hair piled kind of neatly on top of her head in a large bun. She's wearing a slim-fitting dress with a high slit on the side. The dress looks as if it is made of snake skin, a deep red. The sleeves are tight, long, and sheer, and attached to small golden shoulder pieces decorated with the depiction of a serpent. And there is a winding black and gold headpiece that sits atop her head and kind of twists into the hair, into the bun itself. She's wearing heeled boots. And from the slit in the side of her dress, you can see the black twisting tattoo covering the expanse of her leg. As you watch Dagwood stumble out of one of the rooms, trying to gasp for air as she beelines for a tree in the grass and grabs onto one of the low-hanging branches, trying to inhale.
I think Roshan would rush after her. He would offer healing magic just in his touch. So as soon as he could get to her.
Okay. You run over and immediately use healing magic. And just this, as she tries to inhale and looks over at you, and you see it is not a look of pain or injury. It's a look of fear. And it kind of all comes into that moment. You've never seen Dagwood in a crowd. She lived in her house alone for years. She's agoraphobic. And you watched her run out of the room with food and drink, knock into a waiter, and is currently having a panic attack as she looks at you and just kind of one hand on this tree and one hand like grips onto you like an anchor.
Roshan will just say quietly, "Can you walk?"
And like just trying to catch her breath. Can you give me just a second more, please?
Roshan will wait patiently for her to calm down enough to catch a breath, and then will immediately help try to facilitate her into a less populous area.
Yeah, you two begin walking kind of. There's always like a nice bench you can get to that seems like out of the way, and you find one, and you just hear Dagwood sort of mumbling under her breath. It's foolish to be here. I shouldn't have been here. So many people. And just like kind of talking down to herself a little bit about just being in the situation.
I think Roshan is going to try and change the subject and say, what are you doing here? Did you come with somebody? Did you get an invite?
Huh. You can see Dagwood's kind of just trying to regain their composure and seems to be, now that they are no longer in a room with a bunch of people, you can still see that like anxious, unsettled, but pulling back together now, composing herself. This is probably the least composed you've seen her, and she did yell at you the other day. But she seems like this is the most rattled you've seen her, at least. Um, um, I was asked to come. If
By anyone in particular?
I made a deal and I said I would come represent. I thought it would be an interesting place, and I thought foolish on my end.
Well, um, I don't think anyone gets out of this party without looking foolish at least once. If I wasn't here to meet somebody important who had the audacity not to show up until day 3, I'd have called it quits after a couple hours.
What? Why are you and like kind of she stops midway, and you watch her head like follow somebody, and you see Alyona walk by like a good bit away. You'd have to like yell to get her attention, and you just hear Dagwood mumble under her breath, "What the fuck is that?" And just is looking at Dagwood or looking at Alyona like you perceived that nightmare being the night before. Like looking at Alyona like that's fucked up, whatever that is.
Roshan says,
Nice point.
"Oh, would you like me to make an introduction?"
I think I
I'm
need
going to
one.
say this, and it's going to sound stupid, but I
Uh-huh.
believe she is a high mage from a bygone era.
How exciting for us in this scenario to
You know,
perceive her.
I've heard from her that she wants to stop war from brewing between the East and West.
I hope so. That would be
I
that'd be lovely.
I hope so too.
Um I I don't did you tell me that you were going to this? I hadn't slept in days when I saw you. It's hard to remember some of it.
I don't know if I was also upset at the time, so I can't rightly say one way or another.
Hmm. There's plenty to be upset about.
There
Plenty.
sure is. Do you need help with anything? Are you okay?
I am stuck. I'm in a scenario that I cannot leave. Not yet. But there's not much choice in the matter.
Does this have anything to do with Mikkel or Eitri?
Roshan, why are you here tonight? Meanwhile, Nana, you listen to Alder Tidings' song, and it's a rough one, and there is a person handing out drinks, and it is appealing.
Yep.
And you make your way over, and this is closer to so you're sort of, if then Nyx, Russ, that combo is here,
Mm-hmm.
you'd be kind of like over here. Closer to the ballroom is where you go. So I'm just kind of putting everybody in space. Roshan's like over there.
Yeah.
Keld is probably over there, well, like
Ye-
making his way this way. So everybody's kind of in space just to try and put people in spots.
Mhm.
You take a step into the ballroom and get a drink. The song comes to its end. You hear for the first time the most enthusiastic clapping that you've heard at this event. Astounding. Still
Yeah.
golf claps once again.
Still
But
very enthusiastic.
yeah, and you're
it's a
able to like
beautiful
step.
song.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. And the thing is, it sounds familiar. Like there's
Yeah.
something homey about it. Like you swear you've heard it before. And you'll have to ask Roshan about it, you think.
Yeah. The nostalgia, I think, probably also filtered a little bit in with the tears. You know how that is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, home. Oh no, I miss home.
As
Like you
as
do.
you like you do. You take in these emotions and
Yeah.
feelings. It's rough, but also thinking about home is nice in its own way. Hard,
Yeah.
but also nice. And you get to see Nyx and Keld's home. And, there are good things to grasp onto as you watch Alder Tidings immediately lose any steam that he had. And you see that he has already fallen onto his seat as you
Mhm.
walk past the drummer, who kind of like, okay, and then picks back up again. So
Yeah, here
that's
we
kind
go.
of taking up a lot of your ear space at this time.
Okay.
So you don't hear the shenanigans of the glass breaking.
Yeah. Okay.
So you make your way in and you get your drink,
Yeah.
and you hear from behind you, well, if it isn't the man of the hour, just this like over exaggerated pump. You can already picture this man, just like short, round, his hat maybe too big.
Mhm.
Roshan's go this way, his probably go that way. Like you already can
Mm.
feel,
Mhm.
and you're like, and the man of the hour. Um, mm-hmm.
I'm curious. I'm so curious who this is. Am I able to sort of
Uh,
just like turn in a casual fashion and see what?
You don't have to like full spin and be
Okay.
like, oh,
Oh
man
no, it's
of
like
the
no.
hour.
I said the man of the hour, indeed.
Let's see,
I could
a
go
new
full Southern Belle,
direction.
but I think I'll reel it back just a couple notches.
Yeah, you turn around. You're
Yeah,
allowed
yeah.
to. It's not
Oh, yeah,
illegal.
yes. No.
Um, you see that the man that you pictured perfectly, short,
Mhm.
round, hat, kind of tall, but it turns into like two hats, like at the top. Like it doesn't say straight in one; it goes
Oh.
split, like a Y.
Ooh,
Um, you see
fascinating.
that he is talking to a tall man on the paler side, blonde hair, light eyes, wearing a suit of armor in golds. The pauldrons and greaves are draped in pristine white fabric. The white fabric is cinched with platinum clasps. He is wearing a cape composed of braided gold chain. There are leather strips and thin golden strips of metal holding these golden fingers in place on his hands. 3 full fingers on the right hand, half on the left hand. He smiles as he shakes the old man's hand. Nana, your fingers run cold. Your hands go numb. Blood pounds in your ears. Your heart threatens to slip past your teeth if you were to open your mouth. Upon his back is a brilliant golden spear. Terror. No. Sorrow. Disgust. None of that. It's rage. It is anger. It is gut-twisting fury. The drum of your blood blocks out the world around you. The man who killed your brother stands yards from you, smiling and breathing. Smiling and breathing right in front of you. Every drop of blood in your body cries for justice, revenge, to appease the anguish inside of you. Behind him, the dueling circle frames his head like a halo, a beautiful macabre halo circling around his skull, inviting, as if he's already asked. You could avenge Ave. You could avenge yourself in this moment, a chance to stop mourning who you once were before all of this happened, before he changed everything. You could save Erling the horrible honor of having to put down a monster that your father, for the father he never even got to meet. You could take that off of his shoulders at this moment. Maybe you could dream again. Maybe you could believe in yourself again. You can feel that anger rising up. It is bile in your throat and tears burning behind your eyes. All you hear is the people's cry, your cry for justice. And then you realize this is your story. Win or lose, blood or bled, his transgressions will be laid bare for everyone to see. Everyone will know who you are and what you fight for is right. Fuck prudence. You don't need it. Fuck it in this moment. You have been given a chance by fate itself to spill a killer's blood fairly, justly. You can scream his crimes to the heaven. Everyone will be watching in that widow's circle. Hertha's sobs, like in your mind, that turned to rot, still burden you. And this is your moment to let those go. And if you die a hero. Taking down a monster, revealing a monster to the people. Your friends have a wish. They have diamonds. They could save you. But it'll be enough just to get to tell this story. And if you win, you can finally stop. What do you do?
Nana walks up to him.
Okay. Now, if you can hold that for a moment, Nana. Fen. You see Nana approaching the man who killed her brother. But you are seconds, literal inches away from completing a direct order from Corrine. What do you do?
What do I have to do? You tell me how this works.
What does Fen think is more important? Finishing this mission, following this order, doing as Corrine insisted you do. This is the perfect opportunity to do it. Or trying to step in with Nana. I'd like to hear what you have to say. There could be roles, but we don't know.
Fen immediately diverts and goes to help Nana.
Okay, give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Cool. I will give you a wisdom saving throw. 15.
Okay. You know what you need to do. And something in you hesitates. That is enough for Nana to get the first word in. Nana, you walk up to this man.
Hello. I don't believe we've had a chance to be properly introduced.
And the man turns and looks at you, and you've seen his face before. Frostbitten by snow. Bundled up. He stands before you as a man. And he smiles at you. Halo in Arena of Death. Oh. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I would. My name is Nana Hemming's daughter. I'm the younger sister of Ave Hemming's son. And may I ask your name, please?
Well, I am referred to as the Kiln. Is there something that you would like, Nana Hemming's daughter?
I would, yes. For the death of my brother, unjust, unasked for, and cowardly done, I would like to duel you to the death today, if you would be so kind as to meet me in that field of honor. Unless you would like to also take me out behind somewhere no one else will see.
Throughout this, his smile has only grown wider and wider. And the round man who means nothing, has never meant anything, quickly makes that true and fully separates from this conversation. He leans in. Speak with your whole chest, Hemming's daughter.
I, Nana Hemming's daughter, challenge you, the Kiln, to death by combat. If you would face me, then you will do me the honor of avenging my brother who was unjustly killed by you.
And your voice reverberates around the place, and everybody picks up on it. Fen, you hear every word as you make it onto the scene. Nix, you see Fen has made his way to you, and then you watch him pause and then pull himself in that direction. And this man has been described to you, and you can see the gold of the spear on his back from here. And you can, Roshan, you see Dagwood look over in that direction and then looks back to you. Like a look of fear starting to form on her face. Keld, you hear this proclamation as you are now 2 fists deep into another drink. And you see Russ kind of perks back up as people start yelling for combat and looks to you, Nix. Are people fighting?
Think Nana's just challenging somebody to the death. We should probably go over there.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah.
And it was nice meeting you, and points to General Talent. Fen, you were first on the scene if you just want to take it in and be at Nana's side. But Nana has challenged the Kiln. And the Kiln, as you arrive, Fen, says, Nana Hemming's daughter, I would never do you such a disservice in saying no. I accept your challenge to the death, Nana Hemming's daughter.
Fenn's just gonna, if he's approaching the Kiln from behind, just gonna kind of, he's got Nana's eyes, he can see Nana's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They are riveted on him.
Yeah. So he's just gonna lean in, hoping that the Kiln hears his voice feels his breath. Yo, haven't I already killed you once?
He looks to you and he holds up his hand, showing you the gold fingers. You took these. Congratulations. And you can see that there is no finger there. That these are prosthetics in place of where his fingers once were, and you were very aware that he was able to fully grip a spear at the time. And stands sandwiched between the two of you, looks to you, Fen, and then looks back. And kind of waits for a moment. And the rest of your friends, I feel Dagwood would have actually stood in this moment. She does not go into that room. That's too much. But Dagwood would start walking there. Roshan, would you accompany?
Yeah, I think Roshan would accompany, and it's not until he's walking over that he realizes what is actually happening.
Uh-huh.
Like at this point, like the challenge has been accepted and Nana is going to start making her way towards the pitch. She's not interested in banter. She is not here for pithy commentary. She has set out her mission and she's going to do it.
And as you start to walk, oh, I'm sorry, the parameters aren't done.
Yes.
And as your friends enter onto the scene, you look into the now slowly draining color in the face of Russ, who is taking in the situation.
Oh, shit.
And steps forward.
Well,
I am Russ. I am Sindri's second. And I accept your challenge, Nana Hemming's daughter. If you would do me one request, though, is that instead of to the death, and you can see the panic on his face, is that this were a fight for trophy. Do you accept my change in parameters?
yes, Russ, I do.
This man looks like he is watching the slaughter of his friends over and over again. It is the shock on his face, the disgust in his stomach. But him and Sindri begin to make their way towards the arena, and you watch as Russ's handler in her whites and golds runs over and steps to their side. My kiln, is everything all right? And Roshan, you're now in a position where you can hear that. All of you could hear it, to be fair. My kiln. My kiln. That man did not tell you a name on that mountain. He told you a title. He heard him be referred to as my kiln, not Mikhail. And in that moment, you take that information in and realize his name is Sindri as he makes his way to the circle with Russ, who you can see is beginning to panic. Nix, he looks to you, and then it looks like he can't bear to look at you and pulls his focus back and away and just walks to the circle. Nana, you're going to the circle?
Yeah. No choice.
You make your way over. Nana, are there any preparations you would like to make?
Yeah. She's gonna pop the candy with the random good thing.
Well, that
whatever
sounds
that
so
will do.
fun in this moment.
Sure. She's
Anything
gonna
else?
collect her
Well, I
stuff.
put in
Yeah.
this book.
Yeah. Gonna collect her stuff from the armory guy.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got back her belt of returning. She's got her flower pommel dagger. She's got her short sword. She's got her spears. Yeah.
Any spells that you will be casting or anything you will be using?
Well, I started off If I'm remembering right, I think I just went for the fireball and nothing else in the ring. If
Hmm.
I'm remembering correctly.
I believe so. I don't know if
Yeah,
anything else made its way in.
I believe that was it. So then she's going to use enhance ability on herself, granting herself cat's grace, giving me an advantage on dexterity checks. I believe that is pretty much it before combat starts.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone is doing as Russ makes his way to the circle? And you can hear like the wheeze in his breath and the mania in his eyes. And you can see sweat starting to like build on his brow. He is taking this poorly.
Nana's not looking great either. This is not what she wanted. And she looks like she hates herself, but she's made her bed. So at least she can go for trophy and not kill her friend's husband.
Just
Roshan is.
yeah.
I think Roshan looks like 50% of Russ is also sweating and nervous, and also looks angry because he helps one friend out with a panic attack, and then another one challenges someone to die. Great.
The man who
Perfect.
killed your dad figure, so wasn't supposed to be Russ, but here we are.
No, happens.
Mhm.
I think Nyx is at that 10. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Nyx, you feel the warbling on your wrist in this moment. You know the magic is giving way.
Yeah.
But there's so much happening. What can you do?
Just get sit down and disassociate.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Is everybody coming over for the fight?
Of course. We'll sit right outside of it.
You
Just
can see-
curious.
Yeah.
Can inspirations be given during a fight?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
You guys just can't dogpile on one roll.
Yeah.
But you can dogpile on one scenario,
Nice.
if so inclined.
Cool.
Guess we'll see.
How
And-
approachable is Russ at this moment?
Russ looks like a wound up trap in this moment. That if someone were to approach, to touch, to speak, he looks like he would snap. He is wound up tighter and more manic than you have ever seen him.
Fenn's gonna go over and give his support to Nana.
Okay.
Just gonna look her over, make sure she looks like she has what she needs. Gonna put his hands on her shoulders.
I think
Anna.
she flinches.
That's what it's like. Understandable.
It wasn't supposed to be him, Fen. It wasn't supposed to be Russ. I don't.
We're going to make this work, no matter
Yeah.
what happens. No, it's gonna be all right. He already made it better than it was. We will. This is the last day he works for that man. I guarantee you.
Who knows?
We'll fix
he
this.
saved his life, apparently, so no,
Well,
it's fine.
no. Well, it's going to be all right. You're going to do this.
Yep.
You have my confidence. It's all right. You don't need to kill Russ. You don't need to harm him seriously. We will make the most of this. Make the best of it. It will be okay.
Yeah.
Do you need me to step in for you?
No. No, absolutely not. I made this decision. I will live with the consequences.
There's nothing that means this needs to be permanent. We can take the hit. We don't need the help of these people. We don't... You don't have to do this.
No. Any reputation I might have, any reputation Ave may have had, any reputation Galunda may have had in the fire. Shut my mouth off, Fen.
Well, I'm an expert in that. Expertise, been training it in years. There are better ways to get what we hope to accomplish than one-on-one with a person that has nothing to do with it.
At
And
this
you know
moment, Dagwood steps in. 1 second. Nana, I'm going to help as best I can. Hello.
Hello, Dagwood.
But
Shocked to see you here.
I am equally as shocked. I'm going to try to help you. Don't be concerned if you feel something. I fucking hate that man. And her eyes turn to Russ, and then she starts walking off towards Alyona. She heads that way. You can see Russ pacing on his side of the circle. It looks like he's trying to fully encompass the situation, and it's like each bit of information his brain latches onto makes it worse and worse. And you watch the kiln approach him as you watch the handler kind of like lean in a bit concerned. And he grasps the back of Russ's sweaty neck and they face each other. And you watch Russ like stop and hone in his direction, trying to even out his breath. Russ, you swore an oath to me once. I would like you to do it again. And he produces Gungnir from his back and holds it in front of him. And Russ, sweating, manic, grips onto the spear, no hesitation. Until the job is done, until all good work is finished, until I cannot waver. And he stops. And he lets go and he pushes past Sindri and walks towards the man who, every time Russ is approached, has produced a little clasp of inhalants for him. And Russ snatches it from their hand and breathes it in, breathing heavy, still sweating and manic. And you hear a soft gasp from him after a second. And you watch as he grips his shoulder tightly. And he squeezes it, and you can see sweat beginning to pool around the temples of his forehead. And you watch the handler like stop and like begin to make her way over to Russ, who begins to stumble forward and bends at the waist and then stops before he hits the ground, catching himself. And he straightens up and he releases his arm, and smoke rises from his mouth as if he were outside exhaling the cold air, something that pulls him upwards and back into standing, something that focuses him as the smoke drips upwards and away as it slowly fades out. He goes towards the circle. he walks into the center. The rest of you watch whoever is perceiving this, sees Dagwood go talk to Alyona. And Alyona shrugs, and Nana, you watch Russ step his way into the circle. Or are you stepping in?
Yeah. Nana will step forward.
Russ goes to meet you at the center.
No, dear Russ. I'm sorry.
I am going to hurt you. I'm going to embarrass you. I am asking you to concede. And you can see Sindri standing at the end of the circle over Russ's shoulders, looking inwards, still breathing, still smiling.
I do have baggage that I can't get rid of, Russ. Can you tell me? If you can tell me, I'll concede. I don't know if I'll ever be able to let this go otherwise. She looks up at him like she's asking him to give her anything. Any line. She doesn't want to fight him. But if she doesn't, then Ave's still in the snow, bleeding. Hertha's still screaming. The torch is broken in her hands and she's a failure again.
And Russ looks at you. It never gets better. And he turns and he goes to stand in position.
Stand in position.
You watch Alyona make her way to the front of the crowd. Thank you for beautiful party. I am, that's the wrong Russian. Switch. It is incredibly nice to be here at your party. Thank you for inviting me. I would like to bless this combat, as it is the first one that I care so deeply for at your fancy little party. And she places her hand on the dome, and you watch her wince as she puts her palm against it. And you watch a bunch of like fireworks go off, and there is, Roshan, something in your fucking bones. Alyona would never pew pew little fireworks into the air. That just, it hits you the wrong way. And you, honestly, with your perception and your arcana, your big brain, Alyona is not casting that spell. Somebody
His
else
first thought
doing it.
is to look to see if he could find Dagwood.
Yeah, you find Dagwood standing about maybe exactly 30 feet away from the circle. You can see that panic is starting to set in as she is in the middle of the crowd. But there's no hand movement, no movement from her mouth, and no words being murmured, but she is intently watching Alyona.
I think Roshan would stalk just straight toward her, and when she sees him telepathically, he'll ask her, "What did you ask for?"
I just needed a little help, that's all. And Alyona keeps her hand there for a moment and kind of pulls her hand back. Have a good time with your combat. Have fun. I'll watch. And she kind of like shakes the magic from her hand, and goes to find positioning next to Dagwood to watch the combat. And you see Dagwood looks at you and then looks towards Nana in the circle. And you can see only from this perspective a small hole that has been drilled into the combat sphere. You can only assume a small hole was disintegrated into place by a very powerful wizard. just so a nice little sorceress could look through it. Nana, you have haste cast upon you. This means that you have a +2 to your AC. You have advantage on dexterity saving throws, and you get an extra action.
All
So-
right.
And so you see that Dagwood is focusing in on that to be perfectly transparent. You can see that Dagwood is in distress in her current situation of being in this crowd. She will roll Constitution saving throws every round, as she is struggling to maintain concentration while being this panicked and in a group. But she's going to try. And Alyona stands there to watch and is just kind of like, well, now it's interesting. This is now a much more interesting combat. As Russ looks to you, Nana, and he is looking past you. It is a focus, and he hones in, and he does not see you anymore. And that invisible bell tolls, and you run into combat with each other. Nope, silly goose. I'm not done. Roll fucking initiative. You can plan in hell. Somebody needs a snack, go get one.
Me, bud. Okay, all right, here we go. All right. I got my number.
What is it?
It is 17.
Russ is 18.
Do I get advantage on that? Wait, with the cat's grace. Is that advantage on initiative as well as on dex, or?
Yeah, that was the only reason you cast it, was
That
so that
was
you
the
could have
only reason I
advantage
cast it.
on
It's
this.
been oh. Never mind. I'm keeping the other one.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. And Russ runs into combat as you have seen him run into many before. And you can see that he is still sweating and his body is broken and torn apart by these drugs and the situation in and of itself.
Yeah.
But he raises his Morning Star and brings it down rapidly. He is going to make his first attack against you. I can't use this dice because I can't see it. That's a 21 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
I need a Constitution saving throw. As he
Cool.
uses Stunning Strike, hits into your side, and you feel your body begin to lock up.
Yeah, I sure do, because that's only a 9.
Roll it again.
Okay,
Oh.
there you go. Roll it again.
All right, rolling it again. Eight.
Perfect. That is Fen's inspiration gone.
Thanks,
You
but
take
no.
you take 6 points of damage on the first hit. You are stunned. He has advantage on the next hit. He got a nat 20 and is going to hit again. You take 10 on the second hit.
That already doubled.
Yep.
Okay.
The next one also hits. That's another 10 points of damage. 3 hits. A kindness. He wants this to be over with. He wants you both to be done. Flurry of blows. These dice are being very polite. And take another 10 points of damage from the 2 hits.
Added together?
No, yeah, that's all.
10. Okay. Not
10 in
each,
total.
10 together. Okay. Thank
No,
you.
that'd be wild.
That would be pretty wild.
Nana, your turn is spent frozen in place. It is now Russ's turn again. 20 to hit.
Yep.
Constitution saving throw. As blinders up. He is going to finish this in a number of seconds for the good of everyone involved. The best he can.
It's a 21.
Okay. You take 8 points of damage on the hit.
Mm-hmm.
What's your new AC?
19.
Okay, you dodge out of the way of the second one, getting your bearings again as this man has just unleashed fury upon you. And he goes in for his third. That's going to hit. I need another Constitution saving throw, please.
No. 11.
Okay. You take 7 points of damage. And it is Russ's turn again. Russ is going to attack. That one misses with the advantage. Interesting. Nana, you feel it brush over your side. Like it hits hard into your shoulder, but not enough for damage. And it just kind of knocks you into a different position. He goes in for another attack, and you watch him inhale sharply, and you watch his body jerk as he stumbles to the side, and you watch what looks like necrotic energy move up the side of his neck. Dagwood is going to do... so much fucking damage. As Roshan, you can see Dagwood watching through this hole. Hands not moving, no verbal components. And you just watch energy just slam into Russ, but it looks like it came from inside the circle. 1 second. Anybody doing anything besides having the worst time ever outside of the circle?
What's Roshan looking at?
I think Roshan is staring wide-eyed at the fight right now.
Any chance he sees Fen in his peripheries?
At this point, like he could see Fen, but he's not looking for Fen.
If Fen can catch his eye subtly, Fen would like to get Roshan's attention.
If I'm sure Fen is not too subtle, and Roshan will send him a message quickly, just asking, what is it? And then he's gonna look back at the fight.
Make me disappear.
He says, I can't do that at a distance.
Fen will start making his way towards Roshan until he's within a distance where Roshan can cast invisibility on him.
Okay, you begin to make your way over. You will not get there this round. Roshan, take into account, you do not have metamagics.
I know. Yeah. Roshan, his next thought is to say, I can't do this subtly, and people are watching.
So you two, at the end of this round, meet in space. That's where you are. As Dagwood focuses on this little opening, eyes a little misty, jaw set. Able to maintain on haste, good for you. After being hit with 74 points of necrotic damage, Russ stumbles to the side and grips tighter onto the weapon and looks to you. Whatever they need to do. And he's going to run back in, but being blindsided by this, he does miss his next 2 attacks. Nana, it's your turn.
All right, Nana's going to... Hunter's Mark on Russ. And casting Hunter's Mark, she's going to dart in close and try and hit him with the short sword. She's going to go for 2 attacks with that.
Okay.
So that's going to be 2d6 and advantage. Advantage gives me nat 20.
Very nice.
Okay, the other attack is a 19 to hit.
19 does not hit.
19 does not hit. Okay. All right. So for the nat 20, roll on the dice doubled is 6 plus 4 is a total of 10 damage for slashing. And since I'm hasted, I get another action.
You get another hit. You can dash, disengage, but I assume you will be hitting with a weapon.
Yes. Hitting with a weapon. That's another nat 20.
Very nice. But how funny would it be if somebody said roll again? No, is this not the time? I'm sorry. Please tell me how much damage.
Yeah, no, I get you. Hunter's Mark goes every turn, or it's like I keep getting that mixed around with the other one that's only at the start of each turn.
I don't have it in front of me. I'll say sure.
Yeah, I think it is. Sorry.
I'm here for speed. You can have it if you want it.
Good.
I'm
Cool.
not going to say no to much. I'm going to tell you now.
Okay, I mean, that is 10 on the dice, doubled is 20.
Nice.
Plus 4 damage.
24. Okay. Interesting.
And,
Okay.
Yep. And in so doing, Nana will be mobile, kind of like shift away a little bit. She's not interested in being immediately up in his space. She knows she can't outrun him in this. She's just trying to stay maneuvering.
Okay. You stay mobile on your feet, keep moving around the circle. Fen, you have made it to Roshan.
Fenn's gonna shake his head and that was fucking stupid. Don't worry about it. And Fenn's just gonna march towards the kiln.
Okay.
That's it.
You start making your way over there.
Blows Roshan off and then marches towards the kiln.
I think Roshan would speak in his mind and just say, please don't start any more shit right now. And then just be helplessly staring at the combat.
Does that provoke a response, or is that just a telekinetic or telekinesis thing? Or no?
That was just telepathy.
Telepathy, yeah. All right.
Okay. Nyx, you can feel pain radiating through your arm, but focus is drawn to whatever's happening here.
Bad.
As you begin to approach that way, Roshan, both you and Fen will notice. Nyx will see this because she will walk past her, but you see that the handler is like straightened up and looks over in the direction of where Nana's friends are and sees Dagwood. And she's going to start crossing over. So her and Fen are going to high five as they walk past each other, going to opposite sides of the arena. She begins making her way there. As you watch fire lick across Russ's back as he screams. And his eyes turn manic, his movements erratic as he goes to swing. And first he's going to take a little bit of damage. They really be killing it with these cantrips. Good God. Takes 21 points of fire damage as Dagwood stares, unblinking into the arena and just shaking from being in the situation, but slowly beginning to smile. Russ is going to take his attack.
Is it obvious when she casts fire magic on Russ? Like, is there any burning, any smoke?
Yes. You can see that the spell has impact, but it's like it came from nowhere. It's like Nana did it.
Okay. I think Roshan is going to flip around and stare at her instead, and try to block her sight line with the hole with his body or hat.
Hat in the way. Dagwood is going to turn focus to you. She'll get to you in a minute, bud. She'll get to you in a second. Russ is going to do his attacks. This dice is out. Okay, first 2 attacks miss. He hits on the third. Constitution tries saving throw, please.
Yep. Cool. That's an 8.
You're going to take 8 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Get 1 second. No need to worry. As he moves in, after these 2 hard hits, 2 from Dagwood, 2 from you, taking heavy blows. It's a caged animal. It is a cornered beast that is now fighting fully for survival. Everything else is shut off. Whether that was his choice or not, everything else shuts off. That is his turn. It is your turn, which is skipped because you are stunned. Dagwood looks at you, Roshan. Just fury in her eyes. Move, please.
Roshan is going to try not to flinch and say, "This is neither the time nor the place."
Roll persuasion, please, and tell me what your answer is in like half a second.
It's a total
Tell
of
me about it. What do you got?
23.
Ooh. She looks at you. Just one more. One more.
Roshan will just kind of look off to the side, exasperated, and say, "Only if it's subtle," and then he will do another half turn back to the circle.
Okay. All 3 of Russ's attacks hit. One of them is a nat 20. On that one, I'll just have you do a con save for me if you'd be so kind.
Sure thing. Well, it is a 19.
Okay. He'll do it on his... Nah, I'll hold off. Hold on to my shit. You take 24 points of damage in that round. How are we looking?
A little around about a quarter of full health.
Okay. That is the end of his turn. It is your turn, and you can see Dagwood mulling things over. She will not act this round. She will act next round.
Okay.
And she maintains haste, which is good for you.
That's very good for me, because otherwise I'd be hit with the haste after Downies. So, okay. All right. I'm gonna try and go in. Yeah, gonna try to attack Russ. Short sword. 2 attacks. One of them's a nat 1. The other one is a 22 to hit.
22 hits.
11 points of damage.
That's good.
Offhand attack with my dagger then. That is a 28 to hit.
All right, give me damage.
That's gonna be... Okay. Uh, 11 points.
Okay.
How's Russ looking?
Because of Dagwood, very, very poorly.
That makes sense.
Comparatively.
Yeah, comparatively to what I've actually been able to do to him, which I'm not thrilled about, but here we go.
Yeah, you don't know though. You just see that this man is getting bombarded with spells.
Yeah, real rapid fire that I'm not firing off. I'm like,
You're like, okay, sure. None
sure,
of my
magic is
business.
happening, I guess.
Then you make it to the other side, towards Sindri, who glances at you and then looks back to the circle to watch.
As I walked by Russ's handler, I know she had a mask. Do I recognize her as being Eitri?
You've never seen this woman in your life.
Okay, cool. Fenn's gonna stand like, I don't know, like 10 feet behind behind Sindri, and he's just tapping his fingers. He always wears his kukri along the small of his back. He's just tapping his fingers along the handle of that, just waiting to see how this fight turns out. Fenn ready's a fucking upping. That's it. That's Fenn's turn. Just there.
You catch Corrine out of the corner of your eye, who looks at you, and she begins meandering her way in your direction.
Cool. I will receive her politely.
Lady. She begins to make her way over. No haste to it. Just a walk over. The handler makes her way through, and Dagwood says, "Just one more," and takes Russ in and nods to herself. She murmurs perish under her breath. This word catches the wind and begins to go for Russ. And you watch the handler's eyes widen, and she is going to attempt to counterspell it. This word that seeks Russ out in the center of the arena. Okay. This word disintegrates in the air, touching so close, wishing to find purchase, wishing to suck the life from Russ's lungs, and it falls short. And the handler continues her pursuit forward, and Dagwood looks over at her, furious, losing this opportunity. Roshan, you could feel the power in that word. You knew what it was. It is now Russ's turn as he goes at you, and you kind of stumble out of the way during the fight, and you watch the Morning Star rake across the exterior bubble, and you almost hear cracking. The strength of his hit almost it sounds like it's bringing the bubble down around you. You don't know that its integrity is compromised.
Oh boy.
But alas.
Oh boy, okay.
The first one is going to hit. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Alright, con save. That's a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is going to make his attacks with advantage as he rakes the Morning Star across, and these magical sparks just latch out, and you wince for a second. You expose your chest a moment as you kind of reel back, and he hits you directly in the center, in the solar plexus, and you feel everything lock up as he swings. I can't use this dice. I can't see you. Okay. The next two hit. So let's just do all that together as a kindness.
Mm-hmm.
23 points of damage as he hits into you as your body tenses up and you can't get away. As he just first off confused about what's going on, but doing what he can.
Yeah.
It is your turn, which is skipped. Anybody else outside the arena doing anything? Just to check in.
Roshan's doing the Arthur Hand meme.
Ooh. Ooh.
Waiting for Corinne to get to him.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Corrine gets to you. Fen, you're being a bit menacing.
Fen actually draws his kukri as he's tapping his fingers on it. Points it towards the
Put it
kill.
away and shut up! You hear Corrine's voice in your mind. And you cannot say no.
Can I roll something?
No, not for this.
Okay. Fen fails to draw his blade.
And she smiles at you, sickly sweet. Please come stand next to me. And she begins to walk away.
Can I roll for this?
No. If you were asked to directly injure your friends or kill somebody, it'd be different. You are being asked to stand down. Currently, Sindri is not attacking anyone. He is not an active threat. You are not rolling for this.
All right. Fen follows Corinne.
Thank you. And she stands next to you and watches the combat. It is now Russ's turn again. Dagwood maintains concentration, so you can keep haste.
Very kind.
Russ is going to go. I don't think I have any more doodads to throw around, but that's okay. 2 of those will hit. One of them slams into the ground at your feet as you stumble out of the way of it, but then take 2 more. You are going to take 20 points of damage.
Well, yeah, Nana's down.
Okay. What's Nana's last thought before she's unconscious?
I'm sorry, Ave. That's it.
Okay. And you fall. You're fighting one of the best duelists on the continent, a man who was trained years for this by a very particular man. And you fall to the ground unconscious. And you can see the focus almost come back to Russ. Not you, Nana. You've been graciously brought into the darkness. And Russ takes a pacing moment, a moment of anguish, like when he just found out about this. And he slams his morning star into the ground, and you watch as he pulls the dagger from the end on the hilt. And you can see just the panic now starting to hit him again. Now that he is no longer in combat, this was a fight for trophy. And he stands there, hand shaking. Then you've been asked to quietly stand next to Corrine. Does anybody else want to do anything?
I think Roshan says to Dagwood, I think we have some things to discuss.
Of course. As she keeps her eyes on the arena. And Russ takes a step towards Nana. And he screams. He screams and he throws the dagger onto the ground, fury. And he begins to leave. And whoever creates this bubble, it begins to shimmer and shake and dissipate. And you watch him like push into it as it dissipates, and you can see it beginning to singe his fingertips a bit as he pushes out, as somebody runs over to go assist Nana, as this was a fight for trophy and now a little strange. Russ makes his way out, and the handler stops, looks at Dagwood, and begins to make her way back over. Sindri looks to him. Congratulations. And before he can finish, Russ shoulder checks past him and leaves. He fully leaves. And as Nana, you are brought back to consciousness. Corrine looks to you, Fen. Behave. And that is where we are going to stop for today. Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate it. We love telling you guys a story here at the Dice Cult. Went a little long today, my bad. But if you want to catch up on this story, figure it all out, get some info, you can head over to youtube.com/thedicecult. You can watch past episodes of On the Backs of Gods. You can watch one-shots, other D&D games, Vampire the Masquerade. You can keep up with us at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. You can keep up with all of us at The Dice Cult on Instagram and Twitter. Once again, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Katie's dice will be in the chat and the links. You know it. You love it. You love to see it. Oh, look at it.
Well,
It's
they
all
provided the story tonight, y'all.
Boy, howdy, did the story be provided tonight. Thank you again. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Joining us, cultists.